that the morning carries with it a power that many underestimate. It is not just another cycle of hours on the clock. It is the beginning of a divine opportunity. When you open your eyes at dawn, it is not simply the rising of the sun, but the renewal of life itself. Every morning, God extends to you a fresh page in the book of your destiny. Yesterday may have been filled with stress, disappointment, or closed doors, but when you awaken, it is a clear signal that heaven is granting you another chance to reset, to realign, and to receive favor. That is why starting your day with God is more than a religious act. It is the foundation upon which your entire day is built. Think of a builder laying a foundation for a house. If the foundation is crooked, no matter how beautiful the walls or the roof may be, the structure will eventually crumble. In the same way, if your morning is built on worry, anxiety, or distractions, your day will struggle to hold together when pressures come. But if your first moments are grounded in God's presence, then your day carries the weight of His strength, His wisdom, and His favor. Beginning with Him gives you stability that cannot be shaken. It transforms ordinary hours into extraordinary opportunities. The truth is, many people sabotage their own destiny before the day even begins. They wake up and the first thing they do is reach for their phone, scroll through bad news, compare their lives with others on social media, or rehearse yesterday's failures in their mind. By the time they step out of the door, their spirit is already defeated, their mind is already clouded, and their heart is already heavy. They walk into the world empty, hoping for favor, but they never made room for the God who gives it. Favor does not fall randomly, it follows preparation. And the morning is your time of preparation. When you begin your day with prayer, you are not just talking into the air, you are aligning your spirit with heaven's design. The first words that come out of your mouth become seeds planted into the soil of your day. If those seeds are filled with doubt, fear, and negativity, then you should not be surprised when your day grows thorns. But if your first words are filled with thanksgiving, faith, and expectation, then your day becomes fertile ground for miracles. The tongue has the power of life and death, and the morning is when that power is at its sharpest. This is why the enemy fights hardest to keep you distracted in the early hours. He knows that if he can steal your morning, he can steal your day. But if you dedicate your morning to God, you place a hedge of favor around your day before it even unfolds. Starting your day with God also reorders your priorities. Life is full of demands. Work requires your energy, family requires your attention, goals require your discipline. But when you give God your first, you are acknowledging that He is the source of everything else. You are declaring that your success is not in your hands alone, but in His. This humility draws His favor because God resists the proud, but gives grace to the humble. By seeking Him first, you make Him your partner in every decision, every meeting, every step you take. Suddenly, you are not moving alone, but with divine backing. Another reason the morning is so powerful is because it is the time when your spirit is most open. After a night of rest, your mind is not yet clouded by the noise of the world. Your heart is sensitive, your ears are tuned, your soul is ready to receive. This is why the morning is the perfect moment to hear God's voice, to receive His direction, and to let His Spirit fill you. Throughout the scriptures, we see how the great men and women of God rose early to seek Him because they understood that the early hours were not just quiet, they were sacred. In that stillness, you find clarity. In that silence, you find strength. And in that alignment, you discover doors of favor that were closed to you before. You cannot underestimate the power of momentum. How you start determines how you continue. If you stumble into your day in chaos, you will carry chaos. But if you step into your day in peace, you will carry peace. If you wake with fear, you will attract fear. But if you rise in faith, you will attract favor. Favor does not find the unprepared, it finds the expectant. And expectation begins in the morning. That is why the first thing you should say is not, "Oh, I am tired," or "I don't know how this day will go." The first thing should be, "This is the day the Lord has made, and I will rejoice and be glad in it." By doing so, you are not just making a statement, you are establishing an atmosphere. And the atmosphere you create in the morning becomes the environment you walk in throughout the day. The morning belongs to those who know how to command it. If you let the world dictate the rhythm of your morning, you will spend your life reacting. But if you let God dictate the rhythm, you will spend your life advancing. Prayer in the morning is like setting a compass. Once the needle points north, no matter how many turns you take, it always knows where to return. In the same way, when you begin with God, no matter what challenges arise, your spirit knows where true north is. You are anchored, you are focused, and you are favored. Would you like me to expand Keynote 2 in the same style up to 700 words as well? Prayer is not a ritual you perform out of obligation, nor is it a routine you rush through just to say you did it. Prayer is a key. A key is small compared to the door it opens, but without it the door remains locked. In the same way, prayer may seem like a simple act, just words spoken in faith. But those words hold the power to unlock the resources of heaven, every door of favor, every door of favor, every door of opportunity, every door of breakthrough has a lock, and prayer is the God-given key that opens it. Too often, people approach prayer as if they are trying to convince God to do something He is reluctant to do. They beg, they plead, and they repeat words without truly understanding the purpose. Prayer is not trying to twist God's arm. It is aligning your life with His will and granting Him permission to move through you in the earth. When you pray, you are engaging the legal system of heaven. You are invoking the authority He has already given you to release what is stored in the spiritual realm into your physical reality. That is why prayer in the morning is so powerful. It sets the legal order of your day. Before men can deny you, before systems can reject you, before obstacles can rise against you, you have already unlocked doors through prayer that no man can shut. Imagine standing before a massive gate. On the other side are opportunities you've been waiting for, relationships that will bless your future, ideas that will prosper you, and solutions to problems that have troubled you. That gate will not open just because you stare at it, nor because you complain about it, nor because you wish it would open. It will only open when you use the key. Prayer is that key. Many people live their entire lives standing in front of doors that were meant to open, yet they never turn the key because they never learn the true purpose of prayer. Prayer is not passive. It is active engagement with heaven. When you open your mouth in faith, you are shifting the atmosphere around you. You are unlocking doors in places you cannot even see. You may be praying in your room, but God is opening a door for you in your workplace. You may be kneeling in silence, but He is softening the heart of a decision maker who will grant you favor. You may be whispering words of surrender in the morning, but those words are echoing in the corridors of power throughout your day. Prayer is a key that operates in realms beyond your natural reach. And this is why the enemy fears your prayer life more than anything else. He knows that as long as you remain prayerless, the doors of favor will remain shut. You may be talented, gifted, educated, or skilled, but Without prayer, you are like a person holding the blueprint of a house, but with no access to the land it belongs to. Prayer gives you access. It allows you to enter into places you could never enter by yourself. It positions you before kings. It opens conversations you were never supposed to be part of. It ushers in blessings that were delayed. The enemy will try to distract you in the morning, not because he fears your schedule, but because he fears the key in your hand. If he can keep you from prayer, he can keep doors locked. When you pray, you are not only unlocking favor, you are also locking out destruction. The same key that opens God's blessings also locks the schemes of the enemy. Through prayer, you bind what was meant to harm you, and you loose what was meant to bless you. Every time you rise in the morning and declare God's promises, you are securing your day with divine locks and opening your path with divine doors. Think about how Jesus taught his disciples to pray. He did not give them a long ritual. He gave them a key. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. That is the essence of prayer. It is the transfer of heaven's order into earth's chaos. It is unlocking what already exists in God's eternal plan and manifesting it in time. There is no door on earth that can remain shut when heaven has decreed it open. And the key that releases that decree into your life is prayer. This is why you must never treat prayer as an afterthought. It is not something you do when you have time. It is something you make time for, because without it, you walk into your day unarmed. Prayer is preparation, it is positioning, and it is power. It ensures that when you step into the world, you are not relying on chance, but walking in certainty. Favor does not come to those who wait aimlessly. Favor comes to those who pray faithfully. In the morning, when you place the key of prayer into the lock of God's promises, you are unlocking mercy that covers your mistakes, wisdom that guides your choices, strength that sustains your body, and favor that surrounds you like a shield. You may not see the door open immediately, but every word spoken in faith is a turn of the key. And sooner or later, what was locked will swing wide before you, because prayer never returns empty. It always unlocks what it was designed to release. Would you like me to go ahead and expand Keynote 300 to 700 words in the same style as well? One of the greatest truths you can ever learn about favor is that it is not random. Favor does not fall like rain without direction. It flows like a river toward those who are positioned to receive it. Many pray for favor, many desire open doors, but they fail to understand that favor is the result of alignment. When your life, your thoughts, your choices, and your actions are aligned with God's will, favor becomes the natural outcome. It is not forced, it is not manipulated, it simply flows. Think about the way a key fits into a lock. No matter how much you desire that door to open, the key will not turn unless it is properly aligned. You can push, pull, or even break the handle, but without alignment, the lock will resist you. Prayer works the same way. You may cry out, but if your heart is not aligned with God's will, the lock remains unmoved. Yet, when alignment comes, even the lightest touch turns the key and the door swings open. That is the power of walking in alignment. So what does it mean to align with God's will? It begins with surrender. Alignment is not about forcing God to bless your plans. It is about allowing His plans to guide your steps. Many of us come before God with our own blueprint, asking Him to sign His name at the bottom. We want Him to bless our decisions, approve our timing, and anoint our agenda. But alignment does not work that way. True alignment says, not my will, but yours be done. It recognizes that God sees further than you see, knows deeper than you know, and has designed your life with purpose greater than you can imagine. When you align yourself with that will, you place yourself in the current of his favor. This is why Jesus taught us to pray, "Thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven." He knew that favor flows when heaven's agenda is carried out on earth. Alignment is not just obedience, it is partnership with heaven. It means your steps are ordered, your words are seasoned with wisdom, your decisions reflect his counsel, and your heart beats in rhythm with his. When you live this way, doors open without striving, because heaven recognizes its own reflection in your life. Think of a river and a boat. If you drop your boat into the river, but try to row against the current, you will exhaust yourself and accomplish little. But if you turn your boat to flow with the current, the river itself carries you further than your strength ever could. That is alignment. When you fight against God's will, you wear yourself out trying to force results. But when you align with his will, favor carries you into places your effort alone could never reach. Alignment does not remove effort, but it multiplies results because you are flowing with God's current rather than against it. Many doors remain shut not because God is withholding them, but because our hearts are misaligned. We want positions that would destroy us, relationships that would derail us, and opportunities that would pull us away from our purpose. And when God says no, we see it as rejection, when in reality it is protection. Favor is not God giving you everything you ask for. Favor is God aligning you with everything you were created for. That is why morning prayer is not only about asking for blessings, but about submitting your agenda. Each day you must align your thoughts with his thoughts, your plans with his purpose, and your desires with his direction. When you live in alignment, doors that seemed impossible begin to open. It is not coincidence, it is consequence. Alignment attracts divine timing. It places you in the right place at the right time with the right people. You find yourself walking into rooms you did not plan for, but they were waiting for you. You speak words you did not prepare, but they carry weight beyond your knowledge. You step into opportunities that others strive for, but they fall into your lap because you are aligned with God's favor. Alignment is not luck. It is divine orchestration. There is also peace in alignment. When you are aligned with God's will, you stop chasing everything. You stop comparing yourself to others. You stop being jealous of their blessings. You stop rushing ahead of God's timing. You realize that what is for you cannot be taken from you, and what is not for you cannot help you. That peace allows you to move with confidence, and confidence draws favor, because favor rests on those who walk boldly in their calling. The more you align with God's will, the clearer your vision becomes. You stop asking, "What do I want out of today?" And you begin to ask, "What does God want to do through me today?" That simple shift changes everything. Suddenly, your work is not just work, it becomes ministry. Your relationships are not just companionship, they become assignments. Your challenges are not just problems, they become platforms for God's favor to shine. Alignment transforms the way you see life because you no longer walk in your own will, you walk in His. And here is the greatest truth. When you align with God's will, favor is not something you chase. It is something that chases you. Scripture says, "Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life." Favor follows alignment. You don't have to force it, manipulate it, or fight for it. When your life reflects His will, favor becomes a natural companion, opening doors you never even knew existed. Would you like me to now expand Keynote 4 in the same style and depth, 700 words? Expectation is one of the most powerful forces a believer can carry. What you expect, you prepare for. What you expect, you look for. And what you expect, you attract. Living in expectation of God's favor means walking into every day with the confidence that heaven is already working on your behalf. It means you rise from your bed not with fear of what might go wrong, but with faith that God's goodness is already ahead of you, clearing the path, opening doors, and arranging divine appointments. Favor is not accidental. It responds to expectation. When you wake up and pray, you do more than ask for blessings. You position your heart to expect them. Too many people pray in the morning, but then cancel their own words by carrying doubt into their day. They ask God for opportunities, but walk as though nothing is coming. They pray for open doors, but behave as though every door will remain closed. Expectation is the bridge between prayer and manifestation. Without expectation, prayer becomes empty words. With expectation, prayer becomes prophetic declarations that shape your reality. Expectation is faith in action. It is the posture of someone who knows that God is faithful, that His promises are true, and that His favor is not seasonal but daily. Scripture says His mercies are new every morning, which means each day carries a fresh portion of favor waiting to be received. If you rise without expectation, you miss what God has already prepared. But if you rise in expectation, your spirit is alert, your eyes are open, and your heart is ready to recognize the doors when they appear. Living in expectation also changes how you carry yourself. Favor often flows through people. God opens doors through relationships, conversations, and connections. If you walk into a room with doubt, you might miss the very person God sent to bless you. But if you enter with expectation, you carry an atmosphere of confidence that draws people to you. Expectation produces boldness, and boldness attracts favor. It causes you to speak when others remain silent, to step forward when others hold back, and to see opportunities where others see obstacles. There is a story about farmers who prayed for rain. 2 farmers prayed, but only one prepared his field to receive it. When the rain came, only one had the harvest. Expectation is preparing the field even before the rain falls. In the same way, living in expectation of favor means preparing your life to receive what you have prayed for. If you pray for promotion, you prepare by working with excellence. If you pray for opportunities, you prepare by sharpening your skills. If you pray for divine connections, you prepare by being ready to serve. Expectation without preparation is empty hope, but expectation with preparation attracts God's favor like a magnet. The enemy knows the power of expectation, which is why he tries to fill your mornings with fear. If he can convince you to expect disappointment, you will walk into your day already defeated. If he can get you to expect rejection, you will approach doors with hesitation. If he can make you expect failure, you will sabotage your own progress. But when you rise in prayer and choose to expect God's favor, you disarm the enemy's strategy before the day even begins. You walk not in fear of what could go wrong, but in faith that God is already making things go right. Expectation also shifts your perspective in challenges. Favor is not the absence of obstacles. It is God's hand guiding you through them. When you live in expectation, you stop asking, "Why is this happening to me?" And you start asking, "What door of favor is hidden in this challenge?" Because every problem is a platform for God's favor to manifest. Joseph expected God's hand even in the prison, and that expectation positioned him for the palace. David expected God's deliverance when he faced Goliath, and that expectation turned his battle into his breakthrough. Favor reveals itself to those who expect it, even in adversity. This is why you cannot separate prayer from expectation. Morning prayer is where you align your heart, but expectation is where you carry that alignment throughout the day. You may not know what meetings, conversations, or encounters await you, but you do know this favor goes before you, favor surrounds you, and favor will follow you. So you rise in the morning and declare, "Today I expect the goodness of God. Today I expect open doors. Today I expect divine connections. Today I expect breakthroughs." Those declarations are not wishful thinking, they are keys that unlock doors, because expectation activates heaven. Living in expectation also means refusing to settle for less than what God promised. It is easy to lower your standards when you face delays, to stop believing when things take longer than you thought. But expectation keeps your faith alive. It says, "I will wait as long as it takes because I know favor is on the way." Expectation holds you steady when others quit, and that endurance becomes the pathway for uncommon blessings. Every day you rise, you have a choice to expect the same cycle of struggles or to expect the favor of God to break patterns and create new opportunities. One choice keeps you bound to yesterday. The other carries you into tomorrow. Favor responds to the heart that expects it. And when you live this way daily, you no longer chase blessings. Blessings begin to chase you. Would you like me to now write a powerful conclusion that ties all 4 keynotes together into one final motivational closing? Every morning is an opportunity to reset your life and reposition your spirit for favor. The way you begin your day determines the way it unfolds. That is why starting with God is not just important, it is essential. When you rise and place Him first, you lay a foundation that cannot be shaken. You align your day not with fear or distraction, but with divine order. Prayer becomes your key. It is the small act with enormous power, unlocking doors that seemed impossible and closing off the traps of the enemy. With every word you speak in faith, you are turning the lock, opening pathways to provision, opportunities, and breakthrough. Prayer is not about persuading God. It is about partnering with Him to release His will into your life. But prayer without alignment is incomplete. Favor flows where God's will is honored. When your heart and your choices line up with His purpose, you no longer have to fight for doors to open. They open naturally because heaven always supports its own design. Alignment brings you into a place where God's favor does not feel forced, it feels inevitable. And when you align, you must also live with expectation. Expectation is the fuel that keeps your faith alive. It is what causes you to look for opportunities where others see obstacles. It prepares you to receive even before the answer comes. When you rise each day expecting God's favor, you do not stumble through life waiting for something to happen. You walk with the confidence that something already has. So as you begin each morning, remember this rhythm. Start with God, use the key of prayer, align with His will, and carry expectation in your heart. If you do, you will discover that the doors you once thought were locked are not locked at all. They were waiting for you to turn the key of faith. And when those doors open, you will not just walk into favor, you will live in it daily. Is a reason many people pray but still feel stuck. Doors remain closed and opportunities seem far away. It's not that God doesn't hear them. It's because they have not learned how to align their mornings with heaven. Today, I want to give you a prayer and a principle that will unlock doors of divine favor over your life. They have not learned how to align their mornings with heaven. Today, I want to give you a prayer and a principle that will unlock doors of divine favor over your life.